Okay, maybe this is working. I don't know if it's gonna cut off. Hello, 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 my darlings. I got new stuff going on here. I'm not quite sure what is going on. I'm not quite sure how long it's gonna be on. I'm not quite sure anything. All I know is something is going on. I got new apparatus, and Glitter Queen needs to have her stuff together here. I don't like this. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to the AT&T on Cascade and the AT&T out on Camp Creek for trying to get a sister together, just trying to do YouTube. So the AT&T on Cascade, I purchased something I really didn't need, but I really did need in the end. So I thank you for that. And then when I went to AT&T Camp Creek, I found out what I really needed. And here it is. I need, in all of this, people, a hard drive, external hard drive. And I'm going to have to go to Apple Store to get an external hard drive. So that'll be maybe my weekend or something. I don't know. I'll get it done. Because I've started this, and the enemy always got some ideas for you. When you're doing all right, you must be doing all right when stuff starts happening. Plus, Mercury's in retrograde. So I'm going to try to say as much as I can. And if it cuts off, that's going to be the program for the hour. I promise you that. So let's talk about something that happened in my life. So we still talk about the video of my life, Georgianne Thomas, 1942 to present. And I'd like to talk about different incidents and different stories because it happened in somebody else's life, and I want to let them know it's okay. And so I'm going to talk about having your car repossessed. Yes, I did. So I had my car was repossessed, and that's not a good feeling. It's not anything you even want to laugh about, but people have had their car repossessed before. Those ads that used to come on, there was the insurance ad. And when I hear them, I would just laugh because that's how it was for me. You heard some noise. I heard a noise. I didn't know what the noise was. And it was, and the interesting thing about it, it was my car. And what I didn't like about it, I had called the people ahead of time. And I needed, how you need, I like this bracelet. Isn't this gorgeous? It really is a necklace. But anyway, so I had talked to the people people who own the car. And the paycheck was coming the day after everything was due. And I had asked them, could they please just wait, And they couldn't wait because they had already waited. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I had to drink this water. I do need it. Anyway, they had already waited on the money. I was just like, come on. If you just let me get to the next day, I'll have all the money to get it done. And it's not a good feeling. What made it worse was there was a family of other people. The other people come in the hood, pull up in somebody's space. I heard the noise, and I went out, and they were hooking up my car. And they had the nerve to say, ma'am, here's your stuff out your car. Did you want to get something out? Oh my God, it was so devastating. It was devastating because there you were just trying to make it on a day-to-day basis. I never had a lot of money, but I just tried to make what I had work. And I don't know what was going on in my life then. I can't tell you. But I do know that they came and got the car. And just the whole scene of looking at your car going down the street. There it goes. And the people who had to come get it, that was their job to come and get it. I swear it was a smirk. I swear they were smirking. That may have been just me, because it was a whole group of other people. And they were like, ma'am, that kind of condescending conversation. And you really couldn't say anything because you the one had the bill. And they were making their money. This was their job to do that. And it just, how do you feel when you have your car repossessed? I know many of you out there, you don't know anything about it. Because, you know, all my friends are the rich and the famous. They never had the car, nothing repossessed. But, you know, and my daughter's probably had a fit. You can't tell that. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can tell that. Because I've lived through it. I've had that kind of life. I had up and down life. And that's why I enjoy life so much, because I've had up and down. I told you, if you go back and listen to my other videos, I've said I never made a lot of money. But it's not about making money. Look where I am now. I know some folks made a lot of money. I can go put a flower on their grave right now. I know some people got all their cars and had all their cars, never had anything. And I can go put a flower on their grave. So it doesn't, that, you know, stuff happens in life. And then they have people know that the car is being repossessed. It was a long time. Every time I saw a tow truck, I was like, did I pay? Oh my God, I used to not like to see a tow truck come. And then it didn't happen once but twice. One time I got scammed. I did. That's a bad feeling too, to know. I talk to these people. You know, when you are educated and you talk to some people and you find out later that they scammed you out your money. Oh my God. They scammed me out the money, and the way they were talking and the way they were coming off on the phone, and they had me thinking somebody was coming to the house and coming to where I was, and wow. Anyway, I had a choice. I didn't have a choice. I just said, you know, I got to let the car, because I can't go here and I can't go there, and I can't be embarrassed by this, can't be embarrassed by that. You know, really, who gives a flip? I remember when people's houses were in the newspaper. People call people, did you say their house in the newspaper? You should say, by the grace of something, there I go. I guess, how does that go? Or say, you know what, I got a couple $100. Let me just anonymously send it. But you don't have to do that. I mean, nobody has to do anything for you. I'm not saying it that way. I always wish I had money, because I wouldn't have any probably. Because when I see people need it, I just rather give it to them. That's what they need. I just give it to them. I give people what they need now. When people act ugly to me, I let them go ahead. Go ahead. Because one thing about it, God got a way. God, he has his own way. Have you seen some people that have been ugly to you? So we want to talk about the car thing, because I just, we're just thinking about how life, when you see me crying sometime, I think about how, where are those people who treated me badly at Delta Airlines? Where are those people, the first 3 black women in Delta Airlines, public relations? We need a letter of apology. That's how I feel. Whenever they talk about the first black this, they have everybody at Delta Airlines except me. I'm never invited. Because I guess they wrote up whatever they wrote up to make sure that nobody knew anything about the first black person in Delta Airlines public relations. There's so many good things we could have done together if they had just let me be that person. Or let the next person be that person. You know, our black media would have loved it if you didn't want to let me be with y'all's media, which was the problem. Then I could have been the person to help out our media and get our people some money and get some ads and some, you know, write some stories about what we were doing. But the person was so angry in that department that he made sure the first 3, he was an angry man. I don't know where he is now. Where are the people who are just angry because of the color of your skin? I think that's just, it's going on now. George Floyd, and you just name them all. There's so many names now. We just shot up like, we just shot. You know? I think about some people who would attack someone for taking their car. But you know, you got to let the people take the car because you didn't pay the bill. Oh, you can't get mad with them. They're on their job. That's their job. I like this name. This kids keep coming loose. You can't get mad. I just stood there. You know, I cried. But crime was going to get it back. And of course, the next day, when I got the money, it wasn't enough money. Why? Because now I got additional fees and additional interest, and I got something on my credit report. Just went down. You could just go downhill. You can just go downhill with just a slight pen, a slight, and you could be slight. Any little slight thing could take you downhill. And that's why I look at the word fortitude as a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. You gotta have fortitude in this life. I tell people it takes stamina to be an adult. You can see why people drink and why people do drugs, maybe. I don't know. You can see why a lot of things happen to people because just one little something can set them off. That could have set me off. You have a car. You had money. How embarrassing, but you know what? You just can't be embarrassed. That's what I want to get to. If you're watching this and your car has been repossessed, you just figure out what model, 72, 68, 133, 813. Oh, I know all those buses. I know all the bus routes. Because you got to say, you know what? You got to dig in. You can't look at it as God punishing me. No, you didn't pay the bill. For whatever reason, you got to get that together. Got to get that budget together. You got to pay that bill. You see, growing up, we didn't get this whole story about paying the bill and that credit thing. They changed the credit report. It's different now because so many of them during the pandemic had issues. So the credit is a little, they've gotten a little eased up on it. You see, but you still got to do the right thing. I remember when later on in life, I went to get a car, and I heard the lady say she got an 800. I didn't know what she was talking about. I heard her say she got an 800. It was like there was like they were mad about it, And then I was like, I guess they talking about my credit score. I guess 800 is good. I didn't know I could. I have it 800 now, but it was 800 then. You just have to, I'm working on back to 800 though. You just gotta say, so what? Let me dig in. You gotta not give up on yourself. I had a friend, my little friend. Well, I had come to the conclusion that he and I are not. We're not together. Come on, R.C. Blake. R.C. Blake could have told me earlier, but I did admire this. I remember him saying, I worked hard to get my credit together. Let me tell you something. You got to work hard in this world. We can't do like some of the others. We got to dig in. You know what I like about the young people? They're not having any cars repossessed because they don't get any cars. They Uber. You Uber if you have to. You Uber till you can do better, I guess. By the same token, when they Uber till they can buy a Lamborghini or a Benz or something. You know why? Because they're gigging and they got their nose to the grind, and they're doing some stuff that we didn't know to do, but we're doing some stuff that our parents didn't know to do. I'm not knocking anything we did because I think we've done well also. And so, in homage to the car story, let me show you this. This is a paper, and this is a poster done by a good friend of mine named Lawrence Blinky Walden. Lawrence will be in my museum. He's one of my first. He and Beverly Fontaine are the two artists that I hope to promote October 1. It doesn't look like October 1 is coming. I'm going to have it together. I got the little clock going. I'm like, Georgia Ann. Okay? But anyway, I need to put something up there. I don't know. I'll get it together. Just a lot. I got slowed down. No excuses, really. Just me. But anyway, he has this piece called Those People. Look up this. by Lawrence Blinky Walden. Google Lawrence, L-A-U, Lawrence. Blinky, for real. His mama named him Blinky because he used to blink with blue eyes. Walden. And a good friend of mine. Those in the inner circle know how long I've been knowing him and why. He has this piece called Those People. Now let me tell you why I want to talk about my repossessed car. And a couple of things here. One, he has all these names of visual artist, poet, historian. He's a visual artist, poet, and jazz historian, but he lists all of those people that we don't know anything about. One being Charles Brooks. He gave us trucks with rotating brushes and water, and all over the world they sweep and clean our street because of Charles Brooks. But you see, I have writing up here at the top. And why, when the car was being repossessed, I'm sure C.R. Patterson and Sons, hyphen Greenfield, they're probably flipping in their grave. You know why? Because C.R. Patterson had a car, made the first cars before Ford. Before Ford. Yes, they did. I don't know, not before Benz, because Benz made the first car, I think. But over here in the U.S., they had a company called Patterson Greenfield. Did you know that? Mr. Patterson, Mr. Greenfield, and Mr. Patterson's name was Frederick Douglass Patterson. He died in 1932. And listen, people, he'd been making cars in the transportation business when he died in 1932. In 1939, they closed the plant after 74 years of vehicle transportation. So when the horse and buggy, all of that, and transition into a motorized car, that was Mr. Patterson. That was Frederick Douglass Patterson. And Mr. Patterson, you know what? I'm going to apologize to you as a black man. A black man who came up with this idea. A black man who developed vehicles. Mr. Patterson, as a black woman, my car should not have been repossessed. Just based on you did it first. What was going on with me? What's going on with any of us? How is it that we don't know about you, Mr. Patterson? And your sons? And your name, Frederick Douglass Patterson? And then the Patterson Greenfield 1915 cars? Is it anybody even got one? And I'm probably if they got one, they won't want anybody to know. What company would want anybody to know that black people developed the cars before Mr. Ford? Who would want anybody to know that? Well, you can look up Those People by Lawrence Blinky Walden. Mr. Patterson's not on that list, but I want to tell you about Mr. Patterson and the Patterson Greenfield cars. Mr. Patterson, I had my car repossessed. I did. That was my fault. I didn't know anything about you. I don't know if that would have made it any better, but just the thought that you existed, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about your line of vehicles. I didn't know anything about it. It's so much of our history we don't know. Why are we talking about being woke? We're not awake in ourselves because we can't be woke if we don't know. That whole woke thing, just forget that, because they got it. They got one word and took it wrong, like they wore us out on bling. Keep in mind that every one of the words and vocabulary, you need to read James Baldwin piece on language. I'm going to teach that this semester. I think that I'm going to go on here and write that up now for my students, you know, about language and how they get their language. First time I heard bling on Good Morning America, I almost jumped out the bed. appropriate, is that the word? Appropriate? What's the word? They appropriate a lot of our stuff. And we don't even know it. How many of you all knew about C.R. Patterson and Sons? Where is somewhere to write something? How many of you knew about the Patterson Greenfield cars, line of cars? Where are my movie makers? Where are my movie makers? Do this movie. Where are my documentary people? It's probably a documentary on History Channel. I have to give it to the History Channel. They black, white, purple, green. They gonna tell it. They're gonna tell it. But who got in their backyard in some old place a C.R. and Sons Patterson car, and who has hidden away in an old barn a Patterson Greenfield car? And who has it and be willing to tell it and share it with the world? Frederick Douglass Patterson. Who wants anybody to know? Remember the jitney? For me, the jitney was the first Uber. Put that together. Just put together all that we have contributed to America. And look where we're going. It's not going in the direction that I even understand. I love America. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Well, liberty has quotes around it, and it's fading. Of thee I sing. It is the land where my fathers died, but I got an ancient part over there. I don't know the next line. Something about pilgrim. I'm not with that pilgrim thing. Because the Native Americans helped the pilgrims, and look what happened to them. Huh? It's something when you don't stop and know your own history. I'm going to say this quickly. I saw where a lady, whose show was on? She just found out her mother was black. She had to call and ask what COL meant and what B meant behind a person's name on your birth certificate. How did she didn't know what COL meant? I question that. Because I guess she didn't want to know that it meant color. So she just finding out she's black. There's a whole lot of white people in America don't know that their roots are black. But overall, historically speaking, the world does not know that their roots. Wait a minute. The world is a singular. The world doesn't know its roots are black. Because who was on the earth first? There were no white people. But you can't tell anybody that because, I don't know, knowledge is power. I don't know. It's something else than not using the knowledge, or using the knowledge is what is real power. The lack of knowledge is not any power, or just having the knowledge and not sharing it. The application of knowledge is real power, and which is why I feel empowered today and why I feel powerful most of the time as a person, because I'm going to apply the knowledge. I'm going to tell it as much as I can. I want my students to know. I want you to know. I want you to know if you know, you can feel better. You think more about that car. You think more about that car. When you go look at that car, you go and say, Patterson Greenfield, let me get in this car. Hey y'all, let me shout out Mr. Patterson, Mr. Greenfield. Let me get in this Lamborghini. Let me get in whatever it is, because all of that comes connected back to that first car. Now, some of these foreign cars may connect back to Mr. Benz over there, but some others may connect back here to Mr. Patterson and Mr. Greenfield. Anyway, I need a new car right now. I don't need a new car, but I want a new car. You know, I want one. You know how you want your final car? I don't know. You can't say that because you don't know how long you're going to live. But I do want my final car. Or my car, I want my dream car. That's a better way of saying it. I don't have my dream car yet. So, it's okay though. Because I dare to dream like you did, Mr. Patterson, Mr. Greenfield. That it'll come to me. You just manifest it. Just say it enough. I haven't talked about it, so I'm talking about it with you all. I think I'll start talking about my dream car. What is it? It's a Wraith. You said, girl, you have lost your mind. I saw one at the varsity. Heck, they can go to the varsity in it. I can go to a Chick-fil-A in it. Because I sure be over there at the Dwarf House trying to get me some waffles and chicken in my Wraith. Yes, I will. At 81. All right, enough. I enjoyed sharing these conversations with you. People say they look forward to it. The lady asked me today, what was that? Come on, it's just too much glitter for daytime. Child, is there such thing as daytime glitter and nighttime glitter? I act like I don't know what time it is. You know why? Because I feel like I can put on what I want to put on. You can judge me, have fun at it. I'm happy. That's it. I'm happy with it. I like it. I had somebody make fun of the hair on my head. I didn't know why. It was 3 of them. And they were making jokes about me behind my back. Then they decided to make jokes about me in my face one time. And they were talking about me slinging my hair and whatnot. I had my own slinging hair. That's what they don't know. I had enough hair to sling myself. I don't have it now. So I don't think you should make fun of anybody's hair, whether they want to wear a wig or not. Or what's wrong with people? You know, you should have come home with me with that chemo you bring home. You know, maybe you should try it sometime and you figure out why I feel like putting this on if I feel like it. Maybe you need to have some of that chemo, that infusion chemo. And you stop making fun of people who, wear you, do you. You want to wear what you want to wear, don't, you know. Stop it, people. Do you. And next time you hear somebody got their car repossessed, don't laugh at them. Send them some Uber wallet money so they can get around, get to work, get themselves together. You know, keep hope alive. Well, this is my new thing to do, put my glasses back on. I love these glasses. Dollar Store. Dollar Store out there on Camp Creek. That's how long I've had them. Because we have a good dollar store over by Greenbrier now. But I love these. Anyway, my darlings, I love you, and you can't do anything about it. Mwah.